What's up, everybody? Derek here with the Bass Factory, and today I'm going to be talking about when fishing gets tough, the 3 ways that I change up to go out there and find fish that will bite. Whenever I'm out there and I'm having trouble getting any fish to bite and I'm not able to get a bite in, I'm getting skunked, and the hours are adding up and I'm not getting anything to kind of figure it out or get to any patterns or anything, I've got to think what fish will be active on that certain body of water, whether it be a creek, a river, a lake, wherever you're at. What can I do to get to where those fish that are active? And one of the easiest ways is to find that current. That current during certain parts of the year can be on fire. I mean, if it just rained and you've got clear water here and muddy water here and they're both rushing together, that makes a mud line. A lot of times those fish will position right on that current break and they'll be ambushing that prey that's coming right to the edge of that mud line. Same with boat traffic. Sometimes on lakes, as those boats are making those huge wakes, don't even pay attention to them because those wakes are washing up on the shoreline and creating another mud layer. It's another way of fishing current. Or you've got creeks that come into the back of a pocket or a cove or any kind of current where current's meeting or spillways, any kind of current that is being generated into a lake. If you can find those eddies and those other places, those fish will be in ambush mode, basically, trying to feed. And those fish have better oxygen, they have better current, they have better temperatures, so they're not in the hottest part of the lake a lot of the time or the river, so they're near where that fresher water is. And that's a lot of times where those fish will position and they will be willing to hit a moving bait that's moving by a lot more than they would on a still, calm lake out on a point and it's sunny skies. I mean, sometimes it's just the worst scenario. So if you change it up, go try out some current and you may start getting on those fish. So that's one thing to try. All right, the second thing that I like to do whenever I'm trying to find those fish that will bite is I try to go find fish that may be holding to structure. Whether it's hot or cold, deep or shallow, whether what time of year it may be, those fish may be right up in that structure on treetops and laydowns and structured down deep off of ledges. Who knows what it may be, but you may have a stretch of bank that goes on for 100 yards, and sometimes those can hold fish, but more than likely if those fish after a cold front or just for some reason it's a sunny day and they need that shade and it's just an open bank and there's that one big treetop right there, they may be right in that treetop up shallow, or there may be a little bit off into 5-6 foot of water, a tree that fell over into the water and those fish are hanging off the edges of it. Anytime you find that structure and it's a sunny day, those fish, just like us, we have to wear sunglasses. Those fish almost need to shade their eyes from the sun. And a lot of times they'll hold up in that structure, or after a cold front comes through, those fish may hold up in the structure for a couple of days. Or maybe it's rained and you've gotten some floods. Those fish will move up shallow and they'll get in that structure, in those laydowns and in those brush piles. So anytime that I'm trying to find those fish, besides fishing current, I'm going to be looking for that structure that those fish may be holding close to. So that's another thing to look for instead of struggling all day long and not catching a fish. The third thing that I look for whenever I'm struggling catching some fish, if the current's not coming through and I'm not getting any fish on the structure and I'm still struggling and I'm trying to get something going, some kind of pattern, I slow way down. I start finding those fish, and I might be catching a bunch of dinks, but I'm starting to kind of figure out where those fish are located. And that is by fishing drop-offs. If it's on a lake, I'll start fishing points, and I'll work my way around those points that kind of come out into the lake, but have steeper drop-offs on the sides. Or I may go find a bluff wall on the lake. And if it's on a river, I find that current where that current drops off, and I'll fish those ledges where that current drops off or makes an undercut or makes a bank that has an undercut, and fish up towards that shallower water. Because a lot of times throughout the year, if you're not finding those fish, if you can find those ledges or those drop-offs They'll either be on the thermocline or they'll be right on the edge of where they can go vertically in the water column very quickly. And that ledge will be the first place that they can hang on to, is that point of reference. So those three things are the things that I typically look for whenever I'm having a lot of trouble in the lake, the river, the creek, wherever. I go and look for those things, and I almost always can find a fish. And I do not fish with a depth finder a lot of the time. So through the years, I have learned to kind of hone in this technique to kind of figure out where the fish are positioned at. And those are the three things that I've kind of learned, that if I'm not catching them, I'm getting skunked, I got to hurry up and switch something up, because if not, I'm going to go home. It might still be a good day because I'm out there on the water, but you want to catch fish because that's what you're out there to do. But let me know if these tips help you guys out there, and if you guys maybe use these tips and you might go out there and catch some fish trying these. But let me know in the comment section, and subscribe